All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking about the hidden value of something you create every single day, your data. It's a story that involves a bankrupt casino, a computer that taught itself to recognize cats, and how these two things, believe it or not, explain the entire AI revolution. Let's get into it. It sounds like a trick question, right? I mean, the whole point of a casino is that the house always wins. The odds are literally built in their favor. And yet, in 2015, one of the biggest names out there, Caesars Entertainment, did exactly that. It filed for bankruptcy. And the reason why? Well, it's probably not what you're thinking. So the company was just drowning in debt. And we're not talking about a small amount. We're talking $24 billion. It's just a mind-boggling number. So as you can imagine, during the bankruptcy proceedings, everybody was fighting over the value of every single asset, the famous hotels, the iconic brands, you name it. But here's where it gets really interesting. The creditors stepped in and said, whoa, hold on, you're missing something huge. They argued one particular asset was being massively undervalued. It wasn't a building, it wasn't a brand name. It was something you couldn't even see or touch. And they put a price tag on it, a cool $1 billion. So what was it? It was their data. The most valuable thing Caesars owned was its Total Rewards customer data program. And look, this wasn't just some simple mailing list. We're talking 17 years of deep, detailed data on 45 million members, their habits, their preferences, every single bet they ever placed. This whole story just nails down a fundamental truth about the world we live in now. Your data is incredibly valuable. Which leads to the big question, why?
Well, the answer really is all about the explosion of artificial intelligence. See, data by itself is just a collection of facts, right? Its true value only gets unlocked when you have an engine powerful enough to make sense of it all. So to really get why data became the new oil, you have to understand that engine. And it all kicked into high gear at one specific, pivotal moment.
Okay, so picture this. It's 2012, and there's this competition called the ImageNet Challenge. It's basically a contest for AIs to see who's best at identifying objects in photos. And in 2012, one team comes along and just blows everyone else out of the water. They absolutely crushed it, using a technique based on neural networks. It was so effective, it single-handedly kicked off the modern AI renaissance we're living in right now. But a breakthrough like that doesn't just happen in a vacuum. For this new era of AI to really take off, two key ingredients had to come together at the exact right time. It's kind of like baking, right? You can have all the flour in the world, but if you don't have water, you're not making any dough. AI needed two things to finally click.
The first ingredient was a massive, and I mean massive, leap in processing power. Now, to get this, you have to understand the difference between two kinds of computer chips. You've got your traditional CPUs, which are super fast, but they can only handle a few tasks at once. But neural networks, they need to run thousands of calculations all at the same time. And the solution, funnily enough, came from video games. Graphics processing units, or GPUs, the things made by companies like NVIDIA that make your games look amazing, were perfect for supercharging AI.
And the guy who was really at the center of connecting all these dots? A computer prodigy named Andrew Ng. Honestly, his story is pretty much the story of modern AI itself. I mean, this was not your average kid. By 16, he was already using neural networks to solve math problems. He went on to study at the best computer science schools on the planet, became a professor at Stanford, and then, in 2007, he and his team were some of the very first to have that aha moment. They realized those gaming GPUs could be repurposed to power their AI research. But here's the thing. Even that wasn't enough. Ng knew he needed more. He needed even more raw computing power, and, crucially, more data. A lot more data. So in 2011, he makes a move to Google, where he could get his hands on both of those things on a scale that was just unimaginable anywhere else. And that's where he started the legendary Google Brain project. One of the team's most famous experiments was just beautifully simple. They took a massive neural network and just let it watch millions of random, unlabeled videos from YouTube. They didn't tell it what to look for. They gave it zero clues. They just let it learn. So the big question was, after processing all of this raw, unstructured data, what would a machine mind, a digital brain, learn to recognize as a distinct concept all by itself? The answer? Cats. Seriously. Out of millions of random videos, the system famously taught itself the concept of a cat just by observing it over and over again. This brilliantly illustrates the second key ingredient for the AI revolution, massive data sets. With enough raw data and enough processing power, AI could finally start to learn about the world on its own. So this breakthrough wasn't just some cool party trick. It led to something much, much bigger. After his time at Google and later leading AI at the tech giant Baidu, NG developed a powerful vision for what all this meant for humanity. And this is his big idea. It's a simple but really profound analogy. He argues that artificial intelligence isn't just another piece of technology. It's a utility that will transform everything. Think about it. When electricity was first harnessed, the initial innovations were just electric versions of old things, like the light bulb replacing the candle. The real transformation came later, when entirely new industries, manufacturing, communication, computing, were built on top of it. Nang believes AI is the same. It won't just improve existing tools. It will reshape entire industries and create ones we can't even imagine yet.
So, what does this all mean for us? This brings us right back to that casino and to the core lesson from Andrew Ng's career. It's a simple, powerful mandate for the future.
See, for a true algorithmic leader like Ng, data isn't just a byproduct of doing business, it's the entire point. At Baidu, he would launch new apps not just because the app itself was profitable, but specifically to acquire a certain kind of data they needed to train their next AI model. Your strategy should be driven by the data you need to acquire.
Okay, so let's bring it all together. We saw with Caesars that data itself is an incredibly valuable asset. We learned that the modern AI revolution was only possible when two ingredients finally came together: massive processing power and vast data sets. And that leads to the ultimate strategic takeaway. Don't just collect data by accident. Let your need for specific data drive the very things you build.
And that leaves us with one final thought. Every click, every search, every transaction we make is a piece of data being collected. It's the fuel for this new electric age. The only question is, what is it all building?